This comic is rated R for nudity and violence, just like I like it.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess. The goddess next door takes on the threat of a deadly digital diva driven to destroy the world in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess featuring a bonus pin-up and the other two books in the Cyber Goddess saga at online booksellers everywhere today. Before I get into today's review of Dren Productions, Christine, I wanted to give everybody a progress report on the Isis, the Beauty Myth, and Isis, All That Glitters comic scripts. Now, I've completed the first draft of the Isis, the Beauty Myth script, and I'm letting that script rest so I can do edits later on. And with the All That Glitters script, I have managed to cut 2 pages out of the original Isis All That Glitters script. So that script that was originally 51 pages is about 49 pages at this point, and I'm hoping to try to trim that book down a bit more so that I can go out here and try to hopefully get this book into production. Now, I'm still raising funds to try to be able to do the next SJS Direct comic, and I want to do a comic featuring the goddess next door as the next comic because I've already done an esteemed No Good Deed comic, which is available up on Kindle for 99 cents, and it's also available in the back of Esteem Blast from the Past. And I just, in 2022, did the John Haynes at Death Store comic, and I want to be able to do one comic featuring all of the characters in the SJS Direct universe, and the only thing impeding me from that is the ability to get the funds to do this project. So if you guys want to donate to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App to help me get the first full comic featuring the goddess next door out there, it would be greatly appreciated. And if you also want to donate just to help me be able to buy more great comics like Christine, that would also be appreciated as well, because I take much of the donated money I get to not only pay for book covers and pay for comics that I'm creating, but I also use them to support independent comic creators like the creators here at Dren Publications. And the creators of Dren Publications took me back to my high school days with Christine. Now, back when I was in high school, when I was going to Park West in the late 80s, I used to stop by a newsstand in Times Square to go pick up my comics. And oftentimes I would find great comics just based on the cover art that was presented on the newsstand. And that would motivate me to go out here and pick up those comics and give them a try. And as I was on Kickstarter putting in a pledge for another creator's project, I happened upon the Christine ad for it at the bottom of the Kickstarter. And when I clicked the link, I really liked what I saw as related to the cover. The cover was really compelling and drew me in. And then as I was looking at the art basically drew me in, and the story overall was one that I found to be quite interesting. So I decided to drop a pledge on this book, and I was extremely happy when I got it in my email, because after reading Christine, I can say that this is one of the best comics of 2023. Now, Christine is a book about a hero's fall, and it's supposed to be a book about a woman who may or may not be a superhero because she's somebody who has wound up in a mental health facility where they really don't believe that she's a superhero. No, they believe that she's somebody suffering from serious delusions as related to her sanity. And this makes for a very compelling comic, and this was an extremely well-written and well-paced comic with really great panel work, and it just is exceptionally well put together. And the story by James Mosca is extremely well done. I mean, this is just a exceptionally well done book with great writing, and Eduardo Garcia's art really pops and just draws you into a very intriguing story. Now, this story is rated R for nudity and violence, and I really cannot show too much of this book due to all of the nudity, but I think I can show you a couple of pages to let you know the basis for the story. Now, the first page has Christine, who is a superhero, and she's just out here walking on the streets because she has superpowers like invulnerability and super strength. And when she comes upon a crime, she looks to go into action even though she's in plain clothes. And as she looks to go into action to try to stop this crime from happening, what happens is that she winds up confronting the shooter. And as she's confronting this guy who's looking to shoot and violate this young woman, what happens is she's thinking that she can stop this killer because she thinks she's invulnerable, but she winds up getting shot in the hand and winds up passing out due to shock. And after she passes out due to shock, she's brought back to reality where she's sitting in the therapist's office. And as she's sitting in the therapist's office, she's trying to explain that she is a superhero, but the therapist doesn't believe that she is a superhero. No, she believes that she's mentally ill, and because she believes that she's mentally ill, she winds up being sent back to her room in the facility. And after she's sent back to her room in the facility, this is where Christine starts making her plans to make her escape. Now, this entire issue, as I was reading it, I was just so into the story, and I was floored by how well done this story is, because this book basically flew right by me in less than about 15 or 20 minutes. I mean, this book is an extremely fast read, and after reading this comic, I was just saying, where is the rest of it? Because I want to finish this story. But the story just ends in a way that has you anticipating picking up the second issue. And this is the book that I'm counting down the days that I can pick up the second issue. It's one that I'm looking forward to getting a second issue of, because everything in this first issue is so exceptionally well done that it just basically leads to me wanting to read more of this story, to learn more about Christine as related to her powers, and learn more about her whole mind as related to this whole situation, and finding out whether or not we're dealing with a superhero or somebody who's super delusional. Now, this book, again, has a lot of nudity, and it's rated R, but it's exceptionally well done and tastefully done nudity that really adds to the story, because I've read a lot of bad girl comics where they just add gratuitous nudity, all just to try to get guys into picking it up because they want to see some hot heroine. But this book really just shows you a person who's dealing with struggles, and as they're here, the sequences add to the story because they fit into the plot organically. So this book, Christine, I would say is one of the best comics of 2023, and the publishers at Dren Productions put together a very solid, well-done comic that it leaves a strong first impression on a new reader. I mean, this book answers those three critical questions a writer has to answer. Who is the main character? What do they want? And most importantly, why should we care? And you really start to care about Christine's story as she's in this asylum looking to try to find a way out and trying to find a way to get out of this situation where she's trying to let everybody know that she's a hero, but is she a hero in her own mind? And that is the question that remains to be answered, and I'm hoping that the writers do answer that question in the next issue, and I'm hoping that they can get this issue out sooner rather than later, because with a lot of these independent comics, I know from my own experience, you'll come out with a great comic with the first issue, but it may be months or even years before you can get to the second issue due to production issues or financial issues. I mean, that's what held me up as related to the 2 or 3 year delay between Esteem No Good Deed and John Haynes at Death's Door. And I originally, again, planned to just do an ISIS graphic novel, but because of funding issues, I wasn't able to get that comic out. But I understand that this happens to a lot of comic guys out here, and I'm hoping that the publishers at Dren Productions can get that second issue of Christine out, because this first issue is absolutely fantastic, and I don't want to see those creators lose their momentum on one of the best comics of 2023, and a well-done comic about a heroine that really just draws you in and has you wanting to read more. I mean, this book is just, again, of the highest quality, just really solid writing, really solid character development, and really solid fast-paced action. When you find yourself breezing through a comic in less than about 15 or 20 minutes and you want to read more, that's a sign that that comic is a hit. And this one is one I could easily see doing well at the comic shop. I mean, this story of a hero's fall could rise to be one of Dren Productions' biggest hits. And this book really needs to get that word of mouth out there. And this is the kind of book that motivates me to go out here and make comic review videos. I mean, it's these comics like this that really are the ones that I really want to go out here and put on the channel, because I want to see more readers go out here and get these books. And the only thing that I think would help this Christine book do even better is if Dren Productions had their own website and were selling their books. Now, a lot of comic guys out here, they often use crowdfunding to go out here and sell their books. But what they don't do is, after the crowdfunding project is ended, create a place to go out here and get those books sold to those readers who want to share the word of mouth. This is one of the reasons why I have John Haynes at Death's Door on Lulu right now, because I know that after the crowdfunding project has ended, I need to go out here and have a place to sell this comics to those who didn't get a chance to get it. And while I wanted to put it on Amazon, there's a whole lot of things that's related to their policies, because I have a John Haynes at Death's Door paperback over there. And according to their rules, you really can't have two of the same book with the same title, I think, over there. So I have to put it on Lulu, and I put it on Lulu for the casual readers who pick up on the book and then want to come in after a crowdfunding project. That's something I want to see more creators do, get their books on a print-on-demand platform, because if it's on a print-on-demand platform, the customers can go buy those books, and they can buy those books when be able to get them at any time. So that's something I want to see more indie creators do, because in that time you have a lot of people who are excited for this book, really want to see more of this book, and they can't. And the whole thing that holds them back is the fact that they can only get it at the crowdfunding project once a year. So this is something that I really think more creators need to do. I talked about this in the Sister Mercy and the Agent Solo review videos I've done, because Raymond Leonard and Corey Hardiman are fantastic creators who have just come up with great concepts. But what you want is your book to be on a platform that can be sold, so that people, when they find out how great your first issue is, they can direct people to where your book is, and you can start generating more sales for yourself. So Christine is a book I definitely want to see more people get into. This book is a great entry point for a new reader into this new character. This book really, again, does what Jessica Jones wanted to do as related to execution. And this concept is one that I definitely do see doing very well for Dren Publications. And I can't wait for the next issue so I can find out more about this character. Now, if you want to pick up my first full comic, John Haynes at Death's Door, you can find it on Lulu.com right now by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to pick up my first full digital comic, A Steam No Good Deed, that I did with Bill Walko, you can find that book on Kindle for 99 cents in digital format. And if you want a paper version, you can pick up the Steam series book, A Steam Blast from the Past, and get the No Good Deed story along with the Blast from the Past story. And if you want to see me be able to make the first full ISIS comic book, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App. And if you want to see me be able to support more independent comic creators and get their books out to the marketplace with reviews and build more word of mouth for them, you can help me be able to support those creators by dropping a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the link in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Horror of a Hyena Woman. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a wicked werewolf in this action-packed all-new E-Steam series adventure. Get E-Steam Horror of a Hyena Woman in paperback and e-readers today. Now available on Lulu. John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes comic book. Get your copy of the first John Haynes comic at lulu.com today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.